Welcome to the Explainer by SenseTalking. All right, today we're tackling something huge, an institution we all think we know inside and out, marriage. But we're going to look at it through a completely different lens, a really critical one. You know, we all get caught up in the ceremony, right? The vows, the party. But what's really going on underneath all of that? I mean, what's the actual architecture that's been holding this thing together for centuries? That's what we're going to dig into.
Okay, so to really get our heads around the feminist critique, we've got to go back in time a bit. We need to talk about this core idea, the separation of life into two totally different spheres. And believe me, this concept is the foundation for, well, a lot of what comes next.
So, picture this. Historically, life was basically sliced in two. On one side, you had the public sphere. This was the world of paid jobs, politics, the productive stuff. And this was seen as the man's world. Then you had the private sphere. This was the home, unpaid chores, raising kids, the reproductive realm. This was assigned to women. And here's the kicker, the really crucial part. One of these spheres was seen as having actual economic value, while the other, which is just as vital, was basically treated as if it didn't.
And this wasn't just some abstract idea, right? This had huge, real-world consequences. It directly led to a system where women became economically dependent on their husbands. All that incredible work, running a home, raising a family, got dismissed as not being real work. And of course, that funneled down to limiting access to education, to careers, and it really cemented this idea of women primarily as caregivers. Okay, so now that we have that historical backdrop, we can start to look at how different feminist theories break this all down. Specifically, we're going to look at two big ones and how they see marriage fitting into these massive systems of capitalism and patriarchy.
So, this gives us two different angles, but they're connected. First up, you've got the Marxist feminist critique. Their focus is on capitalism. The argument is pretty straightforward. All that unpaid work women do at home, it's basically a massive freebie for the economy. It keeps the workforce going, fed, clothed, cared for, without costing employers a dime. Then you have the radical feminist critique. They zero in on patriarchy. From this perspective, marriage is seen as a primary tool for men to maintain control, to control women's bodies, and to lock in those restrictive roles like dutiful wife.
But here's the thing. These two ideas aren't fighting each other, not at all. In fact, they blend together into this really powerful insight. The traditional setup of marriage, as the theory goes, actually serves both systems at the same time. It's like this one mechanism that weaves together economic exploitation and social control.
So, we've done a lot of tearing down here, right? A lot of deconstruction. Which leads to the most important question: what do we build in its place? Because feminist theory isn't just about critiquing things, it's about imagining something better. So, let's talk about what a reimagined, truly equal partnership could look like.
This new model really stands on four big pillars. First, and this is huge, is sharing all the domestic work equally, and not just doing it, but actually valuing it. Second, making sure women have real economic independence. That means equal pay, equal opportunities. Third, we have to actively push back against those old rigid gender roles, the whole breadwinner versus caretaker thing. And fourth, the system itself has to change through legal reforms that guarantee equal rights to property, inheritance, all of it.
So to really spell out the difference, the traditional model we've been talking about, at its core, it's a structure built on dependency and unequal roles. It's based on these old norms that, frankly, limit personal freedom. And then you have the reimagined model. It's a total flip. It's not a structure of dependency, it's a partnership. And it's built on a completely different set of foundations: mutual respect, shared decision-making, financial independence for everyone involved, and laws that actually treat both partners as equals. When you boil it all down, the whole point of this journey, from the critique to the reimagining, is about one massive shift. It's about taking this ancient institution and transforming it from a structure of inequality into a real, genuine partnership of equals. And that kind of leaves us with a question to chew on, doesn't it? As we all keep pushing against these old ideas, what does a truly equal partnership look like to you? In your life, in the world you hope to see? It's definitely something to think about.